The Kumasi International Airport Phase 2 in particular has on several occasions failed to meet its completion deadlines despite numerous assurances from authorities. This has left many residents disappointed. The disappointment has even worsened now that construction work on the project has halted due to lack of funds. The expansion of the Kumasi International Airport project include Phase 2 and Phase 3. Per the new deadlines, the Phase 2 of the project is expected to be completed by June 2023, while the Phase 3 is expected to be completed in the early parts of 2024. It doesn't look likely that the contractors would be able to meet the completion deadlines since the projects are currently on hold. Another highly anticipated project in the Ashanti Region is the Phase 2 of the Citi Central Market Redevelopment Project. Thousands of traders have been expectant of seeing its completion as early as possible, but it appears they will have to wait much longer. This is because work on that project has also halted since the Ministry of Finance has not been releasing funds towards its construction in recent months. So far, Citi news sources say the Phase 2 of the Citi Central Market Redevelopment Project is 65% complete and is expected to be fully completed in the first quarter of 2024. With respect to the mother and baby unit at the Anoch Teaching Hospital, for instance, many residents were excited when authorities assured of constructing a 500-bed capacity block. The previous structure, which was constructed by the Ashanti regime in the 1970s but was abandoned by successive governments, had to be pulled down 45 years later to allow for the construction of the new one. The excitement on the faces of inhabitants in the region appears to be fading away since the construction of the new building has also been put on hold due to lack of funds. Citi news sources again indicate that the project is 40% complete and is also expected to be completed in the early parts of 2024. Many residents in Kumasi fear that, just like many other projects in the past, work could be abandoned on the three projects and have thus urged authorities to find a way of ensuring work resumes as early as possible.
I'm worried because it's become like a tradition in Ghana when one party starts something and if they leave power, it's not continued until they come back to power again. So that's the main problem with our political issues here. One will start and then the other wouldn't touch it. We've seen so many projects like that. We've seen the affordable housing and the rest of them. Yes, so this, I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing happens again. This particular government has just a year more, roughly a year or two, and close to 2 years before they leave power. And I don't believe they can finish this project before they leave. But I believe as Ghanaians, if we cultivate a habit of maintenance, of continuing projects, these things will not be happening. If you are giving us the excuse of IMF funding and all those at this time, that means you didn't do your planning very well, because obviously you should know how much the project should cost you. You should know how much you are putting into the project, and you should know where the money is coming from even before you start. You don't start, it's like you pick a car and then you say you're going to Accra, then you just take off without checking if your petrol will be enough, and you say, oh, don't worry, let's keep going, and you don't know. And along the way, you just abandon the car. I think that's what they are doing.
Yeah, it's quite sometimes, excuse my words, a nuisance, because our roads, our hospitals, and sometimes when you go to the hospitals, especially our mothers with their children lying on the floor, it's quite pathetic. Someone who's come to the hospital to seek for health and going back, but sometimes you see them with the mosquito bites with their children. You've come to seek for help and then you are going back home with malaria and stuff. It's not good at all, so they should ensure everything has been done in time so that our mothers and their children will get where to sleep, and then the beds and everything will be in place, and our roads too. So government should do something about it and then make sure everything is in place.
My main concern will be the mother and baby unit that has been put on hold. There was a time that, as we have already mentioned, was put on hold for about 45 years. It was demolished, and then they've started it again, and they've made good progress with it. And I think it's an important project they are embarking on. So no matter what is going on in the economy, one way or the other, they are going to complete it.
The mayor of Kumasi, Samuel Pine, however, tells Citi News the projects have been put on hold because of government's ongoing debt restructuring as part of the IMF bailouts the country is seeking.
I don't want to use the word stall because it's not stalled. It's been put on hold. Put on hold purposely because government is doing a restructuring of our debt profile. And most of these international contracts and all that fall into that category have been put on hold. It's not only the Kumasi Central Market Phase 2, nor the maternity and children's block or the airport, but other projects across the country. And therefore, after completion of the exercise, work will resume. When you go on site, especially with the Phase 2 project, you find a skeletal staff doing steel works and all that. I discussed and I had conversation with the contractors, and they were looking at the they can make do with the steel works. Once they are not doing concrete works, they don't see it prudent economically to keep on site masons and all that. They've not got into the stage of the electrical works, and therefore they cannot put on site electricians to pay them for no work. Then therefore they put it on. So it's been a temporary thing, and I believe very soon, when everything is over, work will resume. And we're also looking at it that yes, there are period for the airport and the Kumasi maternity and children's block will also be similar to what I'm talking about now.
So for now, there's no clear timelines?
Definitely, we cannot give clear timelines until we're done with the process that the finance ministry and government is going through with the IMF and other partners.
Now, behind me is the Kumasi International Airport, which is one of the 3 major projects that have been put on hold in the Ashanti region. Residents fear that if government does not put efforts in place to complete these projects as early as possible, they will be added to the many projects that have been abandoned. For Citi News, Fatih Aminu Ibrahim, Kumasi.